Norman Reedus is given the opportunity to host his own program on The Walking Dead by Daryl Dixon. But it turns out that his character might end up becoming the antagonist of the spin-off. Daryl is an honorable and kind-hearted survivor, as longtime fans of The Walking Dead will know, but his harsh and combative demeanor makes it simple to see how he might be viewed as a villain. In the world of the program, Daryl may not seem like much of a hero. He's not hesitant to commit murder and other horrible deeds when the circumstances call for it, which makes him a likely candidate to play the antagonist in his spin-off. Daryl isn't afraid to get involved in the action and put himself in risk when facing up against the genuine antagonists of the show, but this might backfire, as it did with Glenn. The Walking Dead's Glenn's ending resulted by Daryl opposing Negan and refusing to follow him. Despite seeming to be a noble deed, it actually resulted in Glenn's death and made things worse for the gang. The same is seen in Daryl Dixon of The Walking Dead. Daryl puts additional people in jeopardy as he kills a prominent member of an opposing organization while trying to rescue a couple of strangers. Daryl is not assisting Laurent. Instead, he is endangering the child. The Walking Dead story. The central theme of Daryl Dixon is Daryl's attempt to return to America. The most effective method to achieve this is through assisting Laurent, a little kid, on his journey across France. Despite his perhaps noble intentions, Daryl hasn't showed much interest in Laurent and doesn't provide any protection. Daryl's survival instincts undoubtedly contribute to the child's safety, but his actions also placed Laurent in danger. The protagonist of the show is already the target of numerous individuals in France, and the threat he poses to his new organization makes him more of a villain than a hero. The boy's conviction that he is unique is a major factor in his desire for protection and his decision to move to northern France. Laurent may be resistant to the zombie virus due to the circumstances of his birth, but many others think he is exceptional for more spiritual reason. But Daryl merely increases the danger to the child's life. The majority of Daryl's adversaries in The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, are simply interested in him and don't care about Laurent or any of the nuns. Because of this, Daryl's addition to their party is more of a burden than a blessing. In fact, Laurent would have been safer traveling alone. Isabelle doesn't need Daryl or Laurent to defend her, even though she did beg for their assistance. Compared to Daryl, Isabelle has a far more familiarity with France and its inhabitants, making her the more competent of the two, at least vocally. She may not be nearly as effective in battle, but she has so far shown the ability to hold her own and handle walkers. The one who is able to speak out and swiftly diffuse the tension when the group of children capture the group of survivors in The Walking Dead. Daryl Dixon Episode 2 is Isabelle, who finally turns the two groups into allies. As was previously seen in the spin-off, Isabelle has a vast buddy network spread over France. Isabelle provides supporters and demonstrates why Daryl's assistance is truly not needed, while he seems to bring opponents. Daryl's presence has made what was intended to be a straightforward trek more difficult since Laurent is now gone. As shown in the Episode 4 teaser for The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, with dozens of strong warriors at their disposal, Isabelle and the other nuns would have had an easier job delivering the youngster to northern France on their own. Unfortunately, once Daryl showed there, they became less numerous. One of the new antagonists in The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, is Caudron, who mostly wants vengeance after Daryl killed Caudron's brother. Caudron's only goal in life is to murder Daryl. When Caudron learns where he is, he sends his team to get Daryl, who really left the nuns' outpost but returned when he saw all the armed men enter. The combat didn't start until Daryl delivered the first fatal blow, spreading blood on both sides. There was hardly nobody remaining when it was all said and done. The whole situation may have been averted if Daryl hadn't returned or if he hadn't murdered Caudron's brother. He undoubtedly tried to act morally in both situations, but it is obvious that this isn't always possible. When Daryl murdered Caudron's brother, the gang he was defending gladly abandoned him for dead, and by murdering one of his men at the nuns' outpost, he almost lost them all their lives. While that may be understandable in the main series, The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon makes him the major antagonist in the spin-off because most groups were better off before his arrival.